classic automobile restoration and collection, few names carry as much weight as Wayne Carini. For over a decade, viewers have welcomed him into their homes through his hit television series Chasing Classic Cars, where his genuine passion, encyclopedic knowledge, and down-to-earth personality have made him one of the most trusted figures in the automotive world. With his trademark humility and enthusiasm, Wayne has taken audiences on countless journeys to discover forgotten automotive treasures and witness their spectacular transformations. But behind the polished restorations and successful deals that defined his public image, Wayne Carini has faced challenges that tested both his business acumen and his sterling reputation. These struggles, rarely highlighted on his television show, reveal a more complex picture of the high-stakes world of classic car dealing and restoration. They also demonstrate how even the most experienced professionals can find themselves entangled in the complicated web of automobile history, ownership, and documentation. The man behind the restorations. Before delving into the controversies that have occasionally shadowed his career, it's essential to understand who Wayne Carini is and what has made him such a respected figure in the automotive community. Born into the world of classic cars, Wayne developed his passion at his father's knee. Bob Carini, a renowned restorer in his own right, introduced young Wayne to the art of breathing new life into vintage automobiles. "My dad traded 3 cars for it," Wayne has often recalled about one of his earliest memories of his father acquiring a special vehicle. This early exposure to the world of car trading, restoration, and appreciation would shape the course of Wayne's life and career. After formally studying automotive technology and business, Wayne established F40 Motorsports in Portland, Connecticut, which would become the base of his operations. Over the years, he expanded his business empire to include Continental Auto Lunati and Carini Carrozzeria, building a reputation for meticulous work and honest dealing. Wayne's television career began almost accidentally. Producers looking to capture the authentic world of classic car hunting and restoration recognized in Wayne a natural storyteller with genuine expertise and an approachable demeanor. Chasing Classic Cars premiered in 2008 and quickly found an audience, running for over a dozen seasons and making Wayne a household name among automotive enthusiasts. What set Wayne apart from other TV personalities was his authenticity. Viewers connected with his genuine excitement when discovering a rare vehicle in a barn or garage, his respectful approach to the history and stories behind each car, and his transparent discussions about the business aspects of restoration and sales. The Pierce Arrow controversy. The challenges that would test Wayne's reputation began with what seemed like a routine transaction involving a rare 1934 Pierce Arrow coupe. The story of this controversy, which would eventually lead to legal proceedings, began years before Wayne became involved. In 2010, an Australian antique collector named Robert Richmond made an upfront payment of $98,000 for the Pierce Arrow. The transaction was arranged through an acquaintance named Gary Dixon. However, rather than delivering the car as promised, Dixon allegedly listed the vehicle under his own name, effectively cutting Richmond out of the deal and leaving the collector without either the car or his money. Years later, in 2017, the Pierce Arrow resurfaced when Dixon, facing financial difficulties, decided to sell the car. It was at this point that Wayne Carini entered the picture. Unaware of the disputed history of the vehicle, Wayne was contacted to appraise the vintage coupe. Based on his expertise, he valued the Pierce Arrow between $110,000 and $120,000. When the car became available for purchase, Wayne decided to buy it himself. According to court documents, he acted in good faith, relying on ownership documentation provided by Dixon. What Wayne couldn't have known was that these papers had allegedly been fraudulently acquired to facilitate the sale for profit. The situation escalated when Richmond, still searching for the car he had paid for years earlier, discovered it had changed hands multiple times. His frustration led to a lawsuit filed in 2018, naming Wayne Carini, F40 Motorsports, and other involved parties as defendants. The legal action sought to investigate not only the sale, but also the legitimacy of the ownership claims surrounding the Pierce Arrow. According to reports in the Hartford Courant, the court eventually determined that Wayne had not committed any wrongdoing in the transaction. He had acted as a good-faith purchaser, relying on documentation that appeared legitimate. Nevertheless, the resolution of the case required Wayne's cooperation in arranging refunds to resolve the dispute. This first controversy highlighted a fundamental vulnerability in the classic car market: the difficulty of verifying ownership histories that may span decades and involve multiple transactions across different countries. Even with Wayne's extensive experience and connections, the complex history of the Pierce Arrow had remained obscured until the lawsuit brought it to light. The Lamborghini dispute. While the Pierce Arrow case attracted significant media attention due to Wayne's celebrity status, it wasn't the only controversy that affected his business. Years earlier, in 2011, another dispute had emerged involving Wayne's company, F40 Motorsports. This earlier conflict centered around the sale of a 2007 Lamborghini Gallardo. The vehicle had been advertised with a rare and valuable luxury luggage package, reportedly worth approximately $88,000. This high-end accessory became a key selling point for the buyer, who proceeded with the purchase with the understanding that this desirable feature would be included. However, upon receiving the vehicle, the buyer discovered that the luxury luggage package was missing. What followed was months of communication attempts and growing frustration. According to accounts shared on Lamborghini Talk, an online automotive forum where the buyer detailed their experience, responses from F40 Motorsports were inconsistent, and promises to resolve the issue stretched into weeks of delays. The situation eventually prompted the buyer to consider legal action. Before the dispute reached the courts, however, it was resolved privately. The buyer ultimately received the missing luggage package and the car's spare key via FedEx delivery. But the drawn-out process had already left the client frustrated with what they characterized as inadequate communication and customer service from a business with Wayne's reputation for excellence. This case, while less publicized than the later Pierce Arrow lawsuit, nonetheless highlighted potential operational challenges within F40 Motorsports. The dispute raised questions about how the company handled customer concerns and communication, especially when problems arose after sales were completed. The ripple effects on reputation. For someone like Wayne Carini, whose career has been built as much on trust and reputation as on technical expertise, these controversies posed significant challenges beyond their immediate legal and financial implications. In the high-end collector car market, reputation isn't just important, it's everything. The Pierce Arrow case, even though Wayne was cleared of deliberate wrongdoing, stirred conversations among enthusiasts about the diligence dealers should exercise when verifying a car's ownership history, particularly for rare and valuable vehicles. Although Wayne had acted in good faith, the mere association with such a controversy was enough to raise questions in an industry where trust is paramount. Meanwhile, the earlier Lamborghini dispute exposed potential issues in customer service at F40 Motorsports. As dissatisfied buyers shared their concerns in online forums and reviews, descriptions of slow communication and unresolved issues began to accumulate. One unnamed former client writing on a collector car forum described F40 as trustworthy but overwhelmed, making small but consequential errors in high-stakes deals. Media coverage, while relatively limited compared to larger scandals in the automotive industry, further highlighted the precarious nature of maintaining a spotless reputation in the collector car market. As noted in industry publications, even a hint of controversy around a dealer or restorer can lead clients to look elsewhere, creating ripple effects that may take years to overcome. What makes Wayne's situation particularly intriguing is the contrast between these behind-the-scenes challenges and his carefully crafted public image on Chasing Classic Cars. While viewers saw Wayne as the consummate professional who always put integrity first, these legal disputes revealed the complex reality of running a high-end automotive business, where even the most careful dealer can find themselves entangled in unexpected controversies. Lessons learned and moving forward. The controversies and lawsuits involving Wayne Carini and F40 Motorsports served as a wake-up call, not just for Wayne personally, but for many in the collector car industry. Though legal disputes are not uncommon in the world of classic cars, the attention given to Wayne's cases highlighted vulnerabilities that can affect even the most established names in the business. One significant takeaway from these experiences appears to be the crucial importance of thoroughgoing due diligence. According to automotive legal experts, disputes like those Wayne faced underscore the necessity of comprehensive title searches, meticulous documentation, and clear communication between buyers and sellers at every stage of a transaction. While industry commentators were referring broadly to issues in the classic car market, Wayne's challenges demonstrated how even the most seasoned professional could potentially overlook red flags when relying solely on documentation provided by sellers. In an industry built on stories and provenance, paper trails can sometimes be misleading. For Wayne Carini specifically, these experiences seem to have prompted a re-evaluation of business practices at F40 Motorsports. Reports suggest that following these controversies, Wayne implemented enhanced verification procedures and improved customer communication protocols. Rather than allowing these challenges to define his career, Wayne appears to have treated them as valuable if painful lessons in the ever-evolving landscape of classic car dealing and restoration. This approach, learning from difficulties rather than being defeated by them, aligns with the persona viewers have come to know on Chasing Classic Cars. Throughout the show's run, Wayne has never shied away from discussing the risks and occasional failures inherent in his business. This transparency has been part of his appeal, setting him apart from personalities who present only success stories. The reality of the classic car business. Wayne Carini's legal troubles also illuminate broader truths about the classic car industry that casual observers might not appreciate. Behind the glamour of auction victories and stunning restorations lies a business fraught with potential pitfalls. The challenges Wayne faced are not unique. Throughout the industry, questions of provenance, authenticity, and proper documentation create regular complications. Cars that have existed for decades often change hands numerous times, sometimes with incomplete records or unclear chains of ownership. Documents can be lost, altered, or misinterpreted. Memories fade, and oral histories sometimes prove unreliable. For dealers and restorers, navigating these uncertainties requires not just automotive expertise, but investigative skills, and sometimes legal acumen. Even with the most careful approach, situations like the Pierce Arrow case can arise when hidden histories suddenly surface. The high values involved in classic car transactions only raise the stakes further. When vehicles can command prices in the hundreds of thousands or even millions of dollars, the financial incentives for fraud or misrepresentation become significant. Legitimate dealers like Wayne must constantly guard against being unwittingly drawn into questionable transactions. At the same time, the customer service challenges illustrated by the Lamborghini dispute reflect another reality of the business. High-end clients purchasing luxury vehicles have correspondingly high expectations for service and communication. Meeting these expectations consistently, especially as a business grows more complex and handles more transactions, presents an ongoing challenge for even the most well-intentioned operation. Wayne's experience demonstrates that success in this industry requires not just knowledge of cars, but the ability to respond effectively when things go wrong, whether due to misunderstandings, disputed histories, or straightforward business errors. The television persona versus business reality. One fascinating aspect of Wayne Carini's story is the gap between his television persona and the business realities he faces. Chasing Classic Cars presents Wayne as a straightforward, honest dealer whose word is his bond and whose expertise is rarely questioned. This image isn't fabricated. By all accounts, Wayne genuinely embodies these qualities. But television, by its nature, simplifies the complex realities of the classic car business. The show rarely delves deeply into the painstaking process of verifying provenance, checking title histories, or navigating the potential legal issues that can arise in transactions. Viewers see successful deals and occasional disappointments, but not the detailed legal and procedural safeguards that responsible dealers must implement to protect themselves and their clients. Similarly, while Wayne's warm personal approach to clients is accurately portrayed, the show doesn't typically showcase the day-to-day challenges of managing customer relationships, especially when problems arise. The reality, as illustrated by the Lamborghini dispute, is that even well-run businesses can struggle with communication and resolution processes when issues emerge after a sale. This gap between television portrayal and business reality isn't unique to Wayne or Chasing Classic Cars. Nearly all reality television simplifies and dramatizes the subjects it covers. But in Wayne's case, the contrast between his carefully maintained public image and the occasional controversies he has faced provides a window into the complex nature of reputation management in a high-profile business. The legal challenges Wayne encountered never featured prominently on his show, yet they represent an important aspect of the classic car business that enthusiasts and aspiring dealers would be wise to understand. In this sense, the full story of Wayne Carini, including these controversies, provides a more complete picture of what it truly means to operate at the highest levels of the classic car world. The industry's response. The classic car community's response to Wayne's legal issues reveals much about both his standing in the industry and the nature of reputation in this close-knit world. When news of the Pierce Arrow lawsuit broke, reactions were mixed but generally supportive of Wayne. Many fellow dealers and longtime industry participants recognized the situation as an unfortunate hazard of the business, rather than an indictment of Wayne's practices. They understood that even the most careful dealer could potentially become entangled in ownership disputes, especially with vehicles that had changed hands multiple times over many years. Others saw the case as a cautionary tale about the importance of exhaustive due diligence, even when documentation appears in order. The incident prompted discussions at industry events and in trade publications about best practices for verifying vehicle histories and protecting both dealers and buyers from potential disputes. Throughout these discussions, Wayne's overall reputation for honesty and fair dealing appeared to remain largely intact. His decades of building goodwill in the industry, combined with his transparent approach to addressing the controversies, seemed to insulate him from more serious reputational damage. This reaction demonstrates how a strong foundation of trust can help weather occasional storms in a business where relationships matter immensely. The industry's response also highlights how the classic car community tends to close ranks around established members when challenges arise. Fellow dealers and enthusiasts generally gave Wayne the benefit of the doubt, recognizing that the complexities of the business can create difficult situations even for the most experienced professionals. Wayne Carini today. Despite the legal challenges and controversies that have occasionally marked his career, Wayne Carini remains a central figure in the classic car world. Chasing Classic Cars continues to attract viewers who appreciate Wayne's genuine enthusiasm and straightforward approach to the business of finding, restoring, and selling remarkable automobiles. F40. Motorsports continues to operate successfully, handling high-value transactions and restorations. If anything, the lessons learned from past controversies appear to have strengthened the business, prompting improved processes and more careful documentation practices. Wayne himself shows no signs of slowing down. His passion for automobiles remains undimmed, and he continues to share that passion through his television show, personal appearances, and participation in major automotive events. His expertise remains highly valued, and his appraisals and opinions still carry significant weight in the collector car market. Perhaps most telling is Wayne's continued willingness to discuss the challenges and pitfalls of the business, including the lessons learned from past controversies. Rather than attempting to distance himself from these difficulties, he has incorporated them into his understanding of the industry and his advice to others. This transparent approach has, if anything, reinforced his reputation for honesty, a quality that remains essential in the classic car world. Wayne's story ultimately illustrates how even the most successful and respected figures in any industry must navigate occasional setbacks and controversies. What matters most is not avoiding such challenges entirely, an impossible task in a complex business, but responding to them with integrity and a willingness to learn and improve. The broader lessons. The controversies surrounding Wayne Carini offer valuable lessons for anyone involved in the classic car industry or similar high-value collectible markets. They highlight the delicate balance between passion and pragmatism, between trust and verification that defines these businesses. First and foremost, Wayne's experiences emphasize the critical importance of documentation and due diligence. In a world where vehicles may have histories spanning decades and crossing international boundaries, relying solely on the representations of sellers can create significant vulnerabilities. Even experienced dealers must verify every aspect of a vehicle's ownership history, often going beyond the paperwork immediately presented. Second, these controversies illustrate how quickly reputational issues can arise even for well-established businesses. In the classic car world, where information travels quickly through tight-knit networks of enthusiasts and collectors, problems that might seem contained can quickly become widely known. Managing communication effectively during such crises becomes as important as resolving the underlying issues. Third, Wayne's story demonstrates the value of transparency when facing challenges. Rather than attempting to minimize or obscure the controversies he encountered, Wayne appears to have addressed them directly, cooperating with legal proceedings and working toward fair resolutions. This approach, while sometimes difficult in the short term, helps preserve long-term trust and credibility. Finally, these incidents highlight the importance of systems and procedures in businesses that might otherwise rely heavily on personal relationships and handshake deals. As operations grow and handle more transactions, the informal approaches that might work for smaller-scale dealers become increasingly risky. Establishing clear protocols for documentation, customer communication, and dispute resolution becomes essential. Conclusion. Beyond the controversies, what really happened to Wayne Carini? The full answer encompasses both the legal challenges described here and the broader arc of a remarkable career. Wayne encountered significant controversies that tested his business practices and temporarily called his reputation into question. Yet these episodes represent only a small part of a decades-long journey in the classic car world. The true measure of Wayne Carini lies not in these occasional controversies, but in his overall impact on the classic car community. Through his television show, he has introduced countless viewers to the joys of automotive history and restoration. Through his businesses, he has preserved and renewed hundreds of significant vehicles that might otherwise have been lost to time. And through his personal approach to the business, emphasizing honesty, fairness, and a genuine love for automobiles, he has set a standard to which others in the industry aspire. The legal challenges Wayne faced serve as a reminder that even the most experienced and well-intentioned professionals can encounter difficulties in a complex business. What distinguishes Wayne is not an absence of controversies, but how he has responded to them, learning, adapting, and continuing to pursue his passion with integrity. For fans of chasing classic cars and the broader classic car community, Wayne Carini's story offers both entertainment and education. The public Wayne, enthusiastic, knowledgeable, and ever in pursuit of the next automotive treasure, is genuine, but so too is the business person who has had to navigate legal complexities, customer service challenges, and the occasional disputed transaction. Together, these aspects of Wayne Carini paint a picture of a multifaceted professional who, despite occasional setbacks, has maintained his position as one of the most respected and influential figures in the world of classic cars. His journey continues, still driven by the passion for automobiles that has defined his life since those early days watching his father trade cars in pursuit of the next automotive adventure.